All right. Well, this is After Dark Conversation with Mark and Flo.
Hi guys.
See, I knew you was gonna start smiling when we got on camera. She was sitting here looking mad before we
I
started
was
smiling.
not looking
She
mad. I
was
was
looking
just ready, prepared.
serious.
He always want to do extra, so
She gets
just
deep
making sure. One
into
of
meditation.
the Gemini characters. I'm
How
not
many
that one.
characters do I have?
You probably have about 7 or 8.
She's got about 7 or 8
Mm-hmm.
personalities that she has
Mm-hmm.
identified. But actually tonight's video, honestly, what's on my mind is stop supporting bullshit. I did a video, it's on my channel called Controversy Sells, and I talked about this. I'm not a controversial guy. She's kind of controversial, but with everything going on right now, especially with the whole Kanye thing, the influence people are talking about, the influence on rap music has had on the black culture, and uh we got a whole lot of toxic negative shit that we support. And I part of me is mad at myself and just us as a people. Like we complain and we got so many problems, but at the end of the day, nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's gonna fix us. Nobody cares about us. And then honestly, it seems like there's not enough of us who care about us either to do something about the bullshit that we keep supporting. So tonight's conversation, can we stop supporting and doing dumb shit to each other? I mean, again, um, the whole Kanye thing. Like, were you a Kanye fan?
I thought he was cool. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I don't take anything. I think he's a very talented
Like, the college
um
dropout was the shit.
young man.
Mhm.
But I didn't follow him like that.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I was a casual Kanye fan. And again, Kanye, in the black community, he's always after college dropout and the other album he did. Kanye has always been just a different cat, but
Definitely different.
lately, again, can't deny his talent. But he's always been, I guess, eccentric is the only diplomatic way I could say it. Um, but a lot of the comments he's been making lately been getting him a whole lot of heat from a whole lot of people. I mean, the whole White Lives Matter thing with Candace Owens was a whole trip anyway. I'm not political. To me, right is right, wrong is wrong. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Live your life. Do what you got to do. Um,
Well, I think he definitely has that tag of controversial sales.
God,
Um, just watching some of the videos with Mark and I listen to the radio, the morning show, and um, Charlemagne the God. What's up? He's one of my favorite
shout,
guys out
shout
there.
out to the Breakfast Club.
But I mean, he made some great statements, and I get it. I don't know what's going on, and I always tell Mark, honestly, me personally, I feel that once his mom passed away, I don't know what disconnect happened, but a true disconnect happened. I felt after that, because you look at him then and you look at him now, and it's like two totally different brothers. So I feel personally, people always say you don't know what death will do to you when you lose loved ones, especially that are close to you, or parents or children. And so, I have people that are close to me, that can relate. And when you see people's moods, just how they live their daily lives, what it does to them, some people it completely changes them. And for me personally, that's what I feel has happened.
I could definitely concur with that. Again, I've lost my mother and my father. I've been through that transition, that season. It alters you. I mean, as a human being. I mean, again, that your core foundation attachment to life. When you lose that, there's a part in all of us. I think that it's like part of you that was foundational to your core when you lose a parent. It's like losing something that was steady in your life, and it's almost like I don't want to say lost because I remember it. Like first, especially like when I lost my father. Um, I actually remember sitting and looking at men around me in my life that I could look up to and respect, and I began to take certain qualities and characters from other men to try to continue to model myself as a man, because again, my dad was my blueprint. But I definitely, when you lose a parent, something happens to you, and you could definitely, I mean, because Kanye's life, because he's such a public figure, has been so documented. You can see all the changes, in him that were public and obvious. But there were some other comments that I saw in a couple of the videos. And shout out to the Nation of Islam. Don't want to misspeak the brother's name, but he was pointing out some things about Kanye had been committed to a psychiatric institution while I think while he was still with Kim. And the things that they can do to you when you're in that state, if you've never been through that, you can tell he's had multiple encounters that were traumatic and life altering. And it's hard to, especially, I mean, look, we're casual fans. Like, we don't know him. All we know is what we see, just like most of y'all. We know what people put on the internet and on the news and see on TV. Like, that's what we know. But I don't think we give enough credence to what happens behind closed doors. And we just try to judge off of what we see at the surface. And a lot of stuff is curated. A lot of stuff is shaped and fashioned in the way it's presented and communicated to try and infer a conclusion from the beginning. And that's why I kind of take a lot of it with a grain of salt. But one of the things, even with like the video with Pierre, with the whole controversy with him and the other brother comedian Delay, shout out to Delay. Delay is funny too. I used to watch this podcast bunch.
Well, so Pierre had did a video and he was stating that he has a podcast and everyone loves his podcast. Yes, I love Pierre. He's a funny comedian. I followed him, way back, even in his movies, How to Be a Player, and just different, movies that he's done. But he did an experiment. And his experiment was, his podcast was doing really well, but some people just felt like with how many people were tuning in, how many people were subscribing and being a part, they were like, we just feel like you should be bigger kind of than this. And he's had some really talented people on his show,
bona fide superstars. I'm talking about legends on his show.
So he decided to do an experiment and pretend like him and the other comedian were going to get into a brawl
on his podcast.
Yeah. And so they did a whole skit, which nobody knew of. But once it was over, he said his ratings shot through the roof.
Like he got more views on that. I think he said he got like 40,000 views in like 12 hours, and none of his videos have ever done that. And I mean, the way he explained it's sad, because it reminded me of that video when I talked about controversy selling. He's like, look, I do positive content. I celebrate these artists and legends that I interview. Like I am not with drama and bullshit. He says, but I honestly wanted to do an experiment, and I was hoping it would fail. He was actually hoping that we, as the viewing public, his people, would actually not fall for a trick that him and Delay set up. And they actually planned this out. And again, I remember seeing the clip. I was like, damn, because I mean, again, I followed Delay for a while, and it honestly, it didn't seem like it was staged. It looked real. And the way the scenario played out, and he was like, man, I'm gonna do this and throw it out there. And he's like, man, I just hope people ain't gonna bite over it. And he's like, man, it flew, like the views just shot up. And he was like, man, we're more addicted to the drama and the bullshit than the positive stuff. And we were talking about even like with rap music back in the day. I mean, I remember, Public Enemy, X Clan, Boogie Down Production. Like there was consciousness, there was a message that was in the music way back in the late 80s when hip hop was really starting to become prominent. And you remember in the early mid 90s when the shift happened, and it was actually like planned and calculated by some of the people who were actually involved. Like they hijacked hip hop and rap music and used it as a marketing tool for the types of culture and activity that would send people to prison, because a lot of them had investments in the private prison industries. And it was like they literally set it up to be rap music to be a marketing campaign because they control where the money went. And whenever we put people up on pedestals and give them a lot of money, people will follow them. And like we bit for that shit, hook, line, and sinker. And it's like this has been 25 years plus now. And when you look at where we are as a people, like that's why again I felt such a need to write the book about relationships to try and help. Um, but lately I'm just becoming honestly, I'm just becoming more and more heavy-hearted in my consciousness about the addiction that we have to bullshit.
Well, reality shows are the biggest. And one person I do want to shout out is Cardi B. And I say this because Cardi B started on Love and Hip Hop. And I used to be into the reality, Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives, um,
That's where she gets it from.
the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Sorry, I'm washing that out. I'm
Um,
washing it out.
but I really used to be into that, and I remember Cardi B being on there. And I think she did either one or two seasons, but I think ended up just being one. And really, her main focus was to show her, getting into the music business. And after that season, Cardi was just kind of like, enough is enough. Like this, it's not building me as a woman trying to get into the game. It's not building even a beautiful um, kind of picture of who I am. All there's happening to is me going off. Me at the time, I think she had a boyfriend in jail. Um, she just was going through a lot, but I really respected her because after the reunion show, she was just like, I refuse to do this. Like, I can't, I don't want to continue on. This is not me. I know y'all think, I'm a ghetto girl because, she got her, she used to be a stripper. She got that little spiciness to her.
She
But
says spiciness.
I really
That's
respected
that
her
bullshit.
in really just saying, like, this is not who I want to be portrayed as. This is not, what I want to do. I can dictate, my future. I can dictate what I can and will and won't do. So she is one who definitely I stand with and by, and I respect her. But again, when I look at the Real Housewives and stuff, Mona, I think it's Mona Scott, who is the
culture vulture,
head producer over all of
she's
these.
pimping black. Honestly, and this I'm struggling because I want to be as respectful as I can, but I want to ask you, as a black woman, when you think of the imagery of black women in media and how black women are portrayed, do you feel like it's a healthy, positive image of black women that is being portrayed in these reality shows?
Well, that's honestly why I stopped watching them. That I have still some favorite characters in some, but those characters really just try to at least show, their businesses, what they're doing, trying to stay out of the drama and the mess. So those, but yes, no, that was one thing is why I stopped, because I really was like, we are grown ass black women, and we are the main ones demanding respect, and how people should respect us, communicate, give us equal liberty and all of these things. But look at how you are truly acting, and you want people to be okay with that. So that is one thing I can say. I was just like, really, like, this is what we're doing?
Because I ain't gonna lie, I hate when I see black men who look like me, resemble me on I just hate us doing
Mhm.
ignorant shit.
And when you have daughters, like, do you really want to see your daughters look at something like that or act like that? And you get them out and you're like, hey, like, don't act that way. But again, many, are seeing and thinking that
Some of them
that's the
try out there trying to
behavior.
do the same thing their
Yeah.
daughters doing. Like
Mhm.
again, I look, I ain't got no stones to throw. But if we can't be honest about where we're at and what we see, like what we're doing, like this is us, y'all. Like when the the fact that we still hold money and status and fame in such high regard that we're willing to do the most disrespectful, degrading, dehumanizing. I mean, like if the step and fetch, Sambo, mammy stereotypes we complain and hey, like we do that shit now. It's just modernized, all for clout, all for likes, all for money, and it's like I understand our need to quote unquote get the bag, but we've traded getting the bag for actually having any sense of code, community, family structure. Like now it's just anything goes for the bag. Like we've literally, I hate to go back to church, but the Bible had the scripture where it talked, you can't serve two gods. It's either going to be God or money. You're going to either love one and hate the other. And like if our love for money and the power that it seems to give us and what we're willing to do for it scares the fuck out of me.
But I told Mark, when you think of the economy and stuff, now don't get me wrong. I don't feel like, yeah, right.
I don't want to be broke.
Right. You don't,
I,
and again, to me,
I
you
want you
shouldn't
to give
have
me some
to.
money. As a matter of fact, you saw the thing, scroll down there, give me some money.
You shouldn't have to, let's say, sell yourself to the devil, right?
I
To
ain't selling
get
my
what you
soul.
need. But I do explain to him that we need money to be able to
Hell yeah, we need
survive, for
money.
sure. Especially looking at the economy and so much more homelessness going on. There are many people who were just a paycheck away from homeless. And many have stepped into that homeless realm, or the struggle is truly real. So we definitely need money. I think how people are trying to get it and the things that they're doing, that's to me on a different level than those that are really just hard workers, sacrificing, working multiple jobs, just to really do something honest with their money.
Stop turning up. Like we just gotta stop all this fucking turn up. Like life ain't no big fucking party all the time. I don't know why we're trying to entertain our way out of whatever reality we're trying to escape because we're quietly digging ourselves into a hole that at some point, honestly, I feel like as a culture, like we're on the last leg of a downward slope that's gonna put us in a position we're not going to be able to recover from as a people. Like I literally can see that almost in my spirit. Again,
So for me, I don't I don't think that turning up is bad.
no, not
You
bad, not
can't,
bad, not.
you don't want to overdo it, but
We do though, like for real though. Honestly, so much of it, especially with black folk, we have pedestalized and celebrate trying to stay young. I mean, I got grown ass men in their 40s and 50s still trying to dress like fucking teenagers. Like women, like grandmamas, y'all don't need to be in the club with your grandbabies trying to still show you can still drop it like that. Some of y'all know y'all got bad knees. Y'all need to be making some home cooked meals
so
and teaching, being an example of somebody forward thinking, not always trying to relive your past. Like like fucking kids.
so so I'm always curious, right? Because again, I'll be 50 this year, guys.
Yeah,
Um,
look good
but
too.
I'm always curious when people say dress your age, right? What does that mean or look like? Because for me, right, there are some people who feel that at 50, even what I have on now, is a little too much. That, there are certain
Fuck them.
shirts. Well, babe, you just said that people need to be cautious when they're older of what they wear.
Okay, baby. If you was trying to go outside in like a G-string thong or some real short, like if it was some shit inappropriate, I ain't letting you outside the house. Now we in the house, we chilling, we in the studio. You good? You
Right.
comfortable
But
at
I'm
home?
always curious when people say that. Then what do you expect us like to? Because I know for me, I still like to dress young. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be like those young girls, where things are double tight and everything's hanging out. But there are some stuff that they have that
All
I
right, we
think
got 10
is
minutes. We got to wrap
cute.
this up in 10 minutes.
So I'm always curious with and,
Okay.
and leave it down in the comments.
Yeah,
What do you
look,
mean by
dress
we
your
need to
age?
dress our age?
And I'll give you an example of putting it in some kind of context. And this is something you can relate to because you talk with a lot of your students and you're helping them transition, from some of them high school to college into the work world, some from college to the work world. And some of the young people who've never interviewed, say, for a corporate job, right?
Mhm.
They would wear the same shit that they would go hang out with their friends at the club to a damn job interview. And that's not appropriate.
Correct.
So in certain roles and certain settings, what you wear communicates your level of awareness for the environment you're going into and what your role and expectation is. I don't care what you think about fashion. The way human beings work, before you open your mouth, people automatically come up with an assumption about who you are by how you present yourself with your attire. That again, when I lived in Atlanta and I was in ministry, I used to see it all the time. When I was in my suit and I was Pastor Mark, everybody loved me and respected me. But when I was working my job, when I was driving the truck delivering ice cream, and I just had on t-shirts and shorts, it was like, move, little nigga, get out the way. Like it was a totally, people treat you differently based upon how you dress. So at 50, you may still be able to wear some of the same fashions and styles as someone in their 20s, but everything don't fit everybody the same. Everything that they wear ain't gonna be for you, just like everything you wear ain't gonna be from them. And
no, that's why I'm just always curious when people say that.
Yeah,
especially to us that are older.
I'm just saying, again, man, brothers,
what does that mean?
We need to pull up our pants, like dress like you a man. God damn it, not a fucking little boy. I'm sorry. I'm a little frustrated. I'm hurt. My heart hurts. We want people to respect us, take us seriously, but we don't act like we don't present or carry ourselves seriously. We don't. I'm sorry. She giving me that look. Look here. PSA, just if we really want to do better as a people, and shout out to the people who are talking with some sense out here. Look, y'all can complain about them canceling Kanye, whatever. You ain't gotta like it. But here's the thing: if we don't own shit, we can't make the rules of what they put on and put off. And the fact that they will openly disrespect us, but they will check us if we disrespect or say anything they don't like, let you know where the power is. If we want power, we got to come together, do our own shit. We got to save us. And that's going to take some real seriousness. That means we're going to have to give up some of the turn up sometimes to build some infrastructure and some real community and own some shit so we can afford to say what we want to say. Because honestly, this is going to be on YouTube. There's a lot of shit I could say, I can't say. I know some shit. I see some shit I can't talk about. I know what platform I'm on. I'm gonna respect it. That's one of the things we got to respect power. You might not agree with it, you might not like it, but when power moves, you have to respect it, hands down. But if we want to do better for ourselves, we're gonna have to start with us. Stop supporting the bullshit. You stop buying bullshit, stop watching bullshit, stop talking about bullshit. Guess what? They'll stop putting out bullshit. And salute to all the conscious, positive people who are trying to build, really trying to uplift people who ain't getting no shout out, no shine, no likes, no views. Please, y'all, don't stop doing what you're doing. So if the karma alone is worth it, do what you're created to do. Do your purpose. Be positive. Bring the light. Lord knows they shine enough bullshit out here. We got to stop supporting it. So that's all right. I'm through, babe.
You guys have a wonderful evening.
I all in love. Like honestly, I ain't mad at nobody. I love everybody. If I'm mad at anybody, it's myself for my part in participating in the bullshit in my past. And I'm trying to do everything I can to overwhelmingly give back good, positive, helpful stuff to make up for any of the bullshit. So, and it's all in love, like for real, like the logo right there, Mark Love. I love y'all. Love you too.
Mhm.
Kiss. All right, y'all.
Mhm.
Peace.